Now let's speak with Matt Gutwell. Matt has got an ADHD, and he's an advocate and mentor who's been sacked from 30 of the 35 jobs because of his ADHD, which he was diagnosed with, again, as an adult. Matt, thank you very much indeed for joining us again. As with Chris Packham, could you explain to people what your experience of ADHD has been like in the workplace and perhaps in the family as well?
Let's start with the workplace. As you rightly said, between the age of 18 and 36, I amassed 35 full-time salaried jobs and was sacked from 30 of them. And I always say when I give talks, I quit the other 5 because I felt I was going to be sacked.
Can I just ask, sacked for what?
I was sacked for disorganisation. I was sacked from 2 jobs because I couldn't keep a manual A4 diary in order. And when you're running bookings for a large hotel's conference centre, that really doesn't go down so well. I was sacked because I would be seen as argumentative. I would be seen as fractious. I would be told that I wasn't very good at taking direction, but left to my own devices, I was incredibly creative, and I was a wonderful people manager. So a lot of the time it was sacked because of what might be called a lack of fit.
You were a round peg in a series of square holes, as it were.
Oh, very much so, yes. And the thing is, I didn't know why. And that's why it was difficult.
So when you got your diagnosis, what did it mean for you, both in terms of your daily life, but also how you understood what had happened to you before that?
It's really interesting. So when I actually got my diagnosis, it was on the back of a severe nervous breakdown. I was struggling with suicidal ideation at the time. I by then had had my own business for a number of years. On the outside, it all looked rosy. Behind the scenes, I was falling apart. And at that point, the diagnosis was, for me, what I felt would be life-saving. And you've already mentioned medication. I felt that if I could access medication, it would change things. It would make my ADHD go away. And the reality is that's not what medication does. That's not what it's for. But like so many people seeking diagnosis as adults now, because the education and the information that comes when we're researching and when we're being assessed isn't adequate enough. And this was very much brought up in the NHS ADHD task force report. That leads to people not knowing quite what to expect. I was looking for answers, and it's genuinely taken me a number of years since diagnosis to understand myself. And that, for me, is at the heart of why this announcement today is really quite troubling. I have to admit, I'm very confused by it, given the information in the NHS task force, which almost wholesale contradicts what the tone of this statement is, that there isn't overdiagnosis. People aren't being over-medicalised. In fact, there is a gross underdiagnosis, and access to medication is not as high as it should be. So it's really strange that the two are so juxtaposed.
Matt, I think that's a very important warning to everybody listening, particularly in politics. But for now, thank you very much indeed for talking to me. Coming up, Nigel Farage held a dramatic and at times bizarre press conference this afternoon. Our political correspondent was there, and she'll be with me to give us all the details, but you are listening to Tonight with Andrew Marr, and the time is now 6:09.